Good morning, All Souls. To everyone here in the sanctuary and to all joining us online, welcome to All Souls Church, where we strive to live bold and compassionate lives. My name is Garrett Suarez. I use pronouns he and him, and I'm excited to be your worship associate for today. Here you are welcome to bring all of who you are, your ethnicity, gender identity, cultural or religious background, your points of view, like whether you think a hot dog is technically a sandwich or not. It is not, for the record. Okay. Today, in our wonderful spirit of welcome, I reflect on a time when I was once a newcomer as well. I first entered this sanctuary in 2016. It was the Sunday after a big national election. I was feeling uneasy, and this might be a familiar feeling for some. As I climbed up the steep steps out front, I felt apprehensive. I didn't like the idea of being surrounded by strangers in such an uncertain time. But when I walked through the front doors, my concerns melted. I quickly realized that although the people around me came from different walks of life and backgrounds and neighborhoods, this was a place where it was okay, even encouraged, to carry these differences and yet still belong. That day I realized I wasn't surrounded by strangers. I was surrounded by neighbors. And when you're surrounded by neighbors, that's when you know you're at home. If you're with us in the sanctuary, please fill out the connection card you have received from an usher. If you didn't get one, please raise your hand. These allow us to connect with you and help us to learn more about the opportunities for involvement here. Helps you to learn about the opportunities. Virtual visitors, please stay online after the service to join a chat room where there'll be an electronic connection card for your convenience. Today is a rather special day because of this wonderful multi-generational service, which features our young people. It's Stone Soup Sunday. Afterwards, we invite everyone to stay and enjoy the potluck soup spread. Today's Stone Soup service involves a story of people journeying as refugees beyond their ancestral homeland. We recognize that this church was built on land once owned by the Nacotchtank peoples, who inhabited the site of our current sanctuary, as well as two previous sites, long before Europeans arrived on the continent. These people continue to live here in the DMV area, and some attend the congregation today. As we consider the plight of the refugee, the loneliness of feeling like a stranger, and the importance of being a good neighbor, let us reflect on our commitments to understanding the other and pursuing justice the best we can. Now let us turn our hearts and minds to worship.
I invite Willow to come forward and light our chalice with these words from Marjorie Montgomery. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. In a world that sometimes seems to divide us more than unite us, we intentionally take a moment to covenant together, to give voice to what draws us together, and to renew the values to which we pledge ourselves. I invite you to sit in reflection or rise in body and spirit and join me in reciting our Sunday covenant. Love is the spirit of our people, and service is our call, to build the beloved community, to seek fuller truth in love, to dwell together in peace, to offer aid and affirmation, and to tend our mutual well-being. This is our covenant. I invite you to remain standing if you are already up, or rise as you are able, and greet one another here in person or on Zoom. our time of greeting. Thank you all. We invite you to continue these lively conversations in Pierce Hall after the service, at our Stone Soup Potluck, or online. Thank you.
Today is truly a celebration because we celebrate a particular family with a child dedication, and I am going to invite Willow, my helper, and Kirsten and Harvey to please come forward with your child to be dedicated. Willow, you could stand right here. Perfect. I also want to invite our children and youth in our congregation to come forward. You get front row seats to our dedication because you have a special part to play, so I invite you to come forward, sweethearts. I know. I'm gonna hand this to you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Harvey and Kirsten, will you share with us the name of your wonderful daughter and share with us briefly about the meaning of her name?
Sure. Her name is Madeline May Noose Swift. And Noose is my last name. Swift is Harvey's last name. That way she carries both of our families with her. And Madeline May was the only name combination on our very lengthy spreadsheet that we could agree on. So that's how we ended up with that.
Madeline May Noose Swift. Madeline, look deeply into the faces of your family, your mama and your father, but also my mom, Poppy, Grandpa, Mimsy, and Aunt Caroline. Hello. Look into the faces of your family, for theirs is the face of love. They form your first world. You also have important family members who aren't here in the sanctuary, but who are sending you love right now. Maymay and your big sisters, Casey, Shania, Gracie, and Abby. Let's take a moment to feel that love wrap around us like a warm blanket. May you always feel their love, no matter how distant. Now look into the faces of the congregation. Your parents love these people. Yeah, amazing. From us, you will learn what it means to love widely and wildly and to be loved freely. And these children are your special community. Friends, will you welcome Madeline with a wave? Will you treat her with kindness? Smile when you see her? What do you say? Yes. Thank you, dear ones. We are gathered not just to welcome you, but to dedicate ourselves to you. Yeah. Harvey and Kirsten, you know the beautiful work ahead for you, which is both harder and more rewarding than you thought was possible. And you already know the gift it is to be able to spend time with your child. You are already dedicated to this loving, silly, outgoing, and curious child. You hope that the love you show Madeline teaches her that she is worthy of unconditional love just for being herself. And we hope that growing up at All Souls nurtures her curiosity, generosity, and efforts to build the beloved community. Harvey and Kirsten, do you promise to raise Madeline to the best of your abilities, to listen as well as teach, to balance her safety with her freedom to explore, to nurture in her a sense of wonder and awe for the world? If so, say, we do.
We do.
Everyone gathered here today is the village that surrounds this family with love and strength. Today, we commit ourselves to the wondrous task of nurturing this child. Please turn your attention to the screen or to the words in your order of service as we do this responsive reading. It is our faith that each child born is one more redeemer. Are you ready to commit yourselves to Madeline? Will you strive to love and cherish her in times of struggle as well as gladness? We acknowledge the divine spark within each child. Madeline, we have dedicated ourselves to you, which is the most important blessing we have to offer. I seal it today with this ritual. We rub your feet on this earth so you may feel a deep sense of wondrous connection, and may you know that you always stand on sacred ground. Water, may your lips speak truth and compassion, wisdom, and kindness. As you experience the breath of life, May you remember that you are fundamentally not alone, but part of the independent whole. Others will count on you, just like you can count on others. Thank you. Fire, may the light of truth call to you as a reflective, meaning-making person. And a rose with no thorns, may your life unfold with beauty as this budding rose does. May these blessings continue every year of your life. Let us celebrate Madeline and her family. And you, my friends, may return to your seat as we sing "Come and Go With Me to This Land." You could just move it to the side. Yes. Thanks. Take a seat, take a seat, take a load off of those feet. I am looking for some volunteers. Ideally, I need 3 travelers and 3 villagers. Can I have 6 people? If you have a talking role, let's see if there's someone else. Just come on. Friends, yeah, you can come up, friend. Yeah, come up. Yes, come. Yes. Perfect. This is just great. All right. Since you 3 got here first, can you be our villagers?
Yes.
Perfect. And you're going to be our travelers, okay? All 3 of you. Now, you 3, you're going to wait actually, by those doors at the back of the sanctuary and just listen for your cues. You have no talking, but lots of animated acting. All right, villagers. Since this is your home, and it's right after Thanksgiving, you do have some food. Food for you, some food for you. More's coming, don't worry. Some home-cooked cooking, right? Here you go. All right. Oh, yeah. You just hold on to those. All right. Villager number 1, you're right here. Perfect. Villager number 2, great. And villager number 3, by the Christmas tree. Yes. All right. Today, we're telling the story of Stone Soup. 3 travelers trudged down the road in a strange country. Nice, slow, trudging travelers. They were on their way home from wars that lasted so long that people forgot why they were fighting. Besides being tired, the former soldiers were hungry. In fact, they'd eaten nothing for 2 days. "How I would like a good dinner tonight," said the first. "But that is impossible," said the second. "We must march on." So they marched. Suddenly, ahead of them, they saw the lights of a village. "Travelers, a village! Stop and marvel!" Villagers. "Oh, maybe we'll find a bite to eat there," said the third. "No harm asking," said the second. "Okay, travelers, I'll be back with you in a moment." Villagers, are you with me? Yes. Yes. Okay, listen for your cues. Now, the villagers of that place feared strangers. When they heard that the 3 travelers were coming down the road, they talked amongst themselves. "Here come travelers. Travelers are always hungry, but we have little food for ourselves." And they hurried to hide their food. "Go hide the food under the pews. Go hide it. Hide it, they're coming." They pushed the sacks of barley under the hay in the lofts. They lowered buckets of milk down the wells. They spread old quilts over the carrot bins. They hid cabbages and potatoes under the beds. They hung their meat in the cellars. They hid all they had to eat. Then they waited. The travelers came. "Oh, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around." And they came to the very first house. And they knocked on the door. And the villager turned and opened the door. "Yes. Good evening to you," said the travelers. "Could we spare a bit of food for 3 hungry travelers?" "We have no food for ourselves for 2 days," the first villager said with a sad face. "It has been a poor harvest. All the grain must be kept for seed." So the travelers went to the second house. "Could you spare a bit of food?" "Oh, no," said the second villagers. "We gave all we could spare to the soldiers who came before you." They knocked on the third house. No villager had any food to give away. They all gave good reasons. One family had to use the grain for feed. Another had an old sick father to care for. All had too many mouths to feed. But the villagers, still trying to look as hungry as they could, watched the travelers to see what they would do. The travelers stood outside the last house and talked together. The first villager sighed and clutched his empty belly. He said, "If there really is no food in this little village, then the people who live here are in greater need than we are. We should make them a magical soup." We will learn a little bit more about this magic soup in a little bit, but let's thank this first group of volunteers. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I use he, him pronouns, and I am glad that you are worshiping with us today. It being December 1st, there are multiple All Souls holiday traditions coming up or already underway. Our tree trimming party here in the sanctuary this afternoon, the toy drive for La Clinica del Pueblo has begun, and we welcome donations of baked goods and crafts for the Made by UU holiday fair on Sundays, December 8th and 15th. There are multiple events in the ongoing ministries of the church as well, including a meeting today of our social justice feds group that does have childcare available, other meetings and events. Look for more information on these and a lovely flyer on all of our December holiday gatherings coming soon. Now is the time in our service when we typically share news about people in our congregation or their close family members who are experiencing a significant joy or challenge. We didn't have any submitted this week, but of course we know that there are many of you who are experiencing something, ranging from joys of reuniting with family over the holiday to the grief of missing those who died in the past year. For everyone present, and especially the children here as well, I invite you to speak aloud the names of anyone that you want to lift up today. Someone you were glad to see, someone you miss, someone who's struggling with a health challenge or something else. Any person that you want to lift up and send a little extra love to. Go ahead and say those names aloud or type them into the chat. And now I invite you to join me in prayer. Prayer is when we name things that we believe are important. The naming of people we just did is a kind of prayer. Spirit of life and love, we gather today to be reminded of our own unique gifts and the power and potential of combining them. It is important to be grateful, yes, and it is important to be responsible, to use the gifts we have, to use our courage and creativity to help heal our broken world. As we do, may we find our own healing as well. May everyone, ourselves very much included, feel the joy of connection and collaboration. Amen.
Amen. The time has come for these travelers to get to work and bring this magic soup to the village. The three travelers headed to the center of a town and announced loudly that they are master cooks.
We are master cooks. If anyone in this town has a big black pot, we will make the most delicious soup anyone has ever tasted.
A door slowly opened. A person emerged carrying a gigantic black pot. They said, "I love to eat. Let's see what these three master cooks can do with my pot." And he brought it up to the three travelers.
Watch and see.
The travelers filled the pot with cold water and lit a fire. Laura's always looking for kids and fire. Soon the flames licked the sides of the pot and billows of steam rose into the air. Curious people began to gather. "What's happening?" the townspeople asked. "Townspeople, come and gather."
We are making an unusual soup. It requires a certain magical ingredient. I'm certain we will find it in this town.
All the eyes of the crowd watched as one of the travelers reached down and picked up an ordinary stone. He tossed it into the pot with a splash.
Splash! We are making stone soup. It will be delicious, nutritious, incredible, and edible. But it would taste better if only we had a carrot.
Where would we find a carrot in this town? We knocked on every door and everywhere we heard, "I don't care. I won't share. There's no food."
Then perhaps we cannot make the delicious soup after all.
All these villagers! How quickly they forgot. Do they not remember taking me in 9 years ago when I fled my fighting tree? They were not so cold or unwelcoming then. They brought me soup, vegetables, and even fresh warm bread. But perhaps it is harder now that the war is so close. They lost some of their own boys. Perhaps they just need to have their hearts warmed up, and I have just the suit to do it.
And take a step back. Our microphone is.
Hey, Mohammed, what are you doing over there?
Oh, just frying up some chopped onions, garlic cloves, and grated ginger.
You're making mafe, aren't you? It sure smells great. I remember the big pot you made of it. That was the day you said our village was your home now. And I can see I am not the only one.
Smelling the stew starting to cook, the villagers poked their heads and noses out the window.
We are making stone soup. It will be delicious, nutritious, incredible, and edible. But it would taste better if only we had a sweet potato.
Where would we find a sweet potato in this town?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Bring what you've got and put it in the pot. We are making stone soup.
This magical soup would taste even better if only we had a carrot. Wonderful!
Bring what you've got and put it in the pot. We are making stone soup.
It would taste better still if we had just a few more ingredients.
"Perhaps," said a villager, "I could bring a green bean." "Well," said another, "if you're going to bring a green bean, then I will bring a kernel of corn." "I should not be outdone," cried another. "I will bring lentils." One by one, voices announced, "I will bring a slice of celery. I will bring a pinch of salt. I might have a tiny turnip." "Well, why are you waiting?"
Bring what you've got and put it in the pot. We are making stone soup.
Friends, check your cupboards under your pews. Check your pantries. Bring what you got and put it in the pot.
We're making stone soup. Splash. Splash.
Splash.
Splash. Splash.
Splash.
Splash. Splash.
Oh, great, Ben.
Splash. 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 Splash.
Oh, you can take it down.
Splash. Splash. Splash.
Okay then.
Splash. 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 So much. Splash. Splash. Here, I'll put it in front.
Oh, yeah, put some in the frying pan. That's a great idea.
You always need a side dish. Splash. Wait. Wow. Thank you. We got a lot of stuff.
Put in the frying pan too.
No, but we want it to
Willow,
be
Willow,
cooked.
put in the
We had overdone it.
Did we put in too much?
Yeah, we probably gave them too much stuff.
Also, the people above there still.
Would you like to put it on?
Yeah.
The people at the top have to.
They do. Only one person actually put in the hair.
Put it in the front.
Thank you. Put it on the side here. Don't have any room. If there isn't any room in the pot or the frying pan, put it on the side. Wait till we just down.
How's that?
You don't want it to be. But it's fun.
No.
Anywhere right up here is all good.
We definitely put too much. Bro, this still.
Oh, just I didn't think there was like a lot of stuff.
Splash. Splash.
Everyone in the town,
Come back here.
everyone in the town ran home to bring one small thing to put in the pot. Food flew through the air and landed with splashes
Splash!
in the growing soup. Soon the pot was full and simmering. A wonderful smell drifted through the air. Bring what you've got and put it in the pot. We are making stone soup. Let's give a hand of applause to our wonderful cast.
To join us, and you can rise in body or in spirit and help us sing. We're going to sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Now I will invite you all to turn your attention to the reflection question listed on your connection card. Today's reflection question is, what is the magical ingredient you bring to a community soup? As the music plays, you're invited into this space of contemplation and reflection as you fill out your card. Here at All Souls, everyone brings little pieces of something to help create our church. It's an awful lot like Stone Soup. In that spirit, I'm going to do a very simple participatory call and response. Remember it because we'll come back to it in a moment. I'm going to say Stone Soup, we're going to practice, and you're going to say, is what you bring to the pot. Easy enough. Stone Soup. Boom. Each ingredient affects the flavor. When everyone gives their time, their talent, or their treasure, we're all nourished by warmth and bounty. And what a tasty soup we can make together. At All Souls, we give half of our offering to a different worthy charitable organization each month. Today's donations will be split with Miriam's Kitchen, which helps individuals obtain the housing, health, critical resources needed to end chronic homelessness. Online, just follow the links to make your electronic gift or pledge. Here in the sanctuary, we'd like you to bring your cash gift or check and place it directly in the pot along with your connection cards. Remember that if you're writing a check for Share the Plate, just add that to a little note in the memo line so we know how to credit it correctly. And again, Stone Soup. Thank you for your generosity. We will now give and receive our offering.
Celebrate the Jubilee Singers this morning. Aren't they doing a fantastic job? And in keeping with the spirit of collaboration, we have 4 soloists who are going to sing with us this morning, okay? So as each one comes, just make sure you celebrate them and love on them. Amen? Amen.
Seeking for your soul salvation. It's over here. Lord, to make you whole. It's over here. Love is here where the table is spread. Love is here. Going on. Come on here where the table is spread. And the feast. If you need more strength and more power, relief from your burden and your pain, seeking for some joy in your sorrow, feast and you will never be the same.
That's what I call traveling music. There is a special person that we are recognizing today who, for the past year and a half, has contributed many delicious ingredients, gifts that have made our community more abundant. I want to call forward our coordinator of youth ministries, Michelle Anderson. And because I love to play with metaphor and because it's so apt, we hand you this soup bowl to represent. It is actually the sibling bowl to the one we used earlier for our child dedication, to mark the blessings that you have brought and how you've dedicated yourself to us and made us more dedicated to one another. And we want to recognize the special ingredients that you have brought with love to our community.
So, my name is Laura Prophet. I'm the DRE, and I've been lucky enough to work with Michelle for the past year and a half. And I have a couple of things I want to add to her bowl. And if you have been able to work with her or get to know her and would like to add something to her bowl, please feel free to come forward and do so. I was going to add for her, one, her thoughtfulness, always thinking about who needs to be at the table, who needs to be talking, who needs to be engaged in the conversation. The second one is her dedication. She's always learning and always working to know more so she can do more. And third, I wanted to add her kindness, because she's just very kind and thoughtful.
I'm going to add, I always appreciate your professionalism, how you help us think about how we are serving with skill, wisdom, and experience, and how you've paid attention to each of our youths. You know where they are and what they're struggling with and the gifts that they bring. And I also bless you for your dedication to Unitarian Universalism, long seated, brought here, and hopefully to a place where it grew. And also to your care to our whole staff team, really thinking about each one of us and how we serve with one another. There's going to be more opportunities during the feast, which I think has a cake for Michelle, for you to add, but feel free to come up and add too. And into the mic.
I just worked with Michelle briefly, and I wanted to say you brought such attention to detail and such compassion and interest in each kid, and I think it just makes a world of difference, and they're very lucky to have you where you're going, and we're going to be sad to miss you.
I wanted to add to the blessing of her. She's always kindness, and she's always thinking of others and how she can help them in the most wonderful ways.
Thank you, Michelle. I want to add appreciation for your enthusiasm. You came in and brought so much excitement for our youth program and breathed some life into it, so thank you for that.
Michelle, would you like to say anything? I rush ahead, that's my issue.
I know I was only here for a short time, but I appreciate each one of you, and the love that you bring to one another here is very, very precious, and keep sharing with one another, because you have such a gift here in your congregation. And thank you to all of the children and families who welcomed me, and I will miss all of you, and you are each a special light and that you bring to one another and to this place. So thank you.
So we're going to sing So We Give Thanks, especially in your honor, but also for recognition that when we bring ourselves with this level of dedication and care, what we experience is more wondrous. And in that spirit, let us sing Oh We Give Thanks. And there's a little food twist, so we're doing it twice, so pay attention to your screens of the order of service for the musical change. Thank you, Michelle. No, you get to.
For all gathered here and those far away, we give thanks for this precious day.
Everyone came to taste the soup and marveled at its flavor. It's amazing, said one woman. These 3 travelers have made such a delicious soup out of a stone, exclaimed a child. Out of a stone, the travelers said with a grin, and a few magic ingredients: curiosity, wonder, imagination, and sharing. As the travelers left the town, they said, if anyone ever wants to make this soup again, just remember the recipe. Bring what you've got, put it in the pot. Every bit counts, from the largest to the least. Together we could celebrate a stone soup feast. Amen.
I'd like to invite Willow to come forward again and extinguish our chalice. took so many hands and talents to prepare this service today. So let's hear it for the Stone Soup actors. Let's hear it also for our Jubilee singers. And to Reverend Anastasia, Laura, Amanda, Charlie, Daryl, Lori, all of our tech team. And our ushers today, Chuck, Donna, Carolyn, Kathy, and Marion, and to all of you who are here. And a special thanks to all who brought something to our potluck today. In a moment, we're going to go feast in Pierce Hall. For everyone's self-interest, I invite those with small children to go first. We appreciate you and want you to have the opportunity. And thank you again. Every bit counts from the largest to the least. Together, let's celebrate our Stone Soup Feast. Amen.